Now let's start with today's story. I've been with my wife, Monica, for 6 years now, married for 3. We met in college, dated for a while, got married. The usual story. I always thought we were doing pretty well. Sure, we had some arguments about money and other stuff, but I figured that was normal. Turns out, I was wrong. Last Friday night changed everything. Monica had some of her friends over, a little get-together they do every couple of weeks to catch up. Usually, I just stay in my office, working or playing games, letting them have their time. But that night, I went downstairs to grab some snacks from the kitchen. As I walked past the living room, I heard my name. Maya, Monica's best friend, was in the middle of some dumb hypothetical, her voice light and casual like they were just playing some harmless little game. But seriously, Monica, what if someone better came along? What would you do then? I wasn't trying to eavesdrop at first, but when my name came up, my ears perked up. I had a right to listen, right? And then Monica, my wife, didn't even hesitate. She didn't even pretend to think about it. Honestly, just look at Cliff, she said, like it was the most obvious thing in the world. I stood there, frozen. Then she laughed. He's fine, I guess, but if someone with more drive, better prospects came along, yeah, I'd probably upgrade. They all laughed. Like it was the funniest thing ever. My stomach twisted as she kept going. Apparently, I was too safe. Too boring. I didn't make enough money to give her the lifestyle she wanted. Our house wasn't as nice as her friend Tessa's new place. My car was embarrassing, a 2020 Honda Civic. A perfectly good car, by the way. I wasn't ambitious enough because I'd been at the same company for 4 years. Like, he's stable, which is nice, Monica went on, but I just wish he had a little more drive, you know? I mean, Tessa's husband just got promoted again, and they're talking about upgrading to a bigger house. Yeah, Maya agreed. You deserve that kind of life too, right? I mean, sometimes I just look at him and think, is this it? Is this my life? Monica sighed, and they all murmured in agreement. I felt like I'd been punched in the gut, and it didn't stop there. My clothes? Apparently, I dressed like a dad, even though we don't have kids. My laugh. Too loud. I stood there, listening as my wife and her friends picked apart everything about me, like I was some second-hand car she was waiting to trade in. They didn't even disagree with her. At least he's good with the house stuff, one of them said. Yeah, I mean, that's something, Monica replied, like I was some kind of butler. The worst part? I've always supported her. When she wanted to quit her job to start her own business, I covered all the bills for 8 months, until she decided she didn't like it. When she wanted to go back to school for her master's, I paid for it. That nice car she drives, I make the payments on that too. And yet, listening to her talk, you'd think I was some lazy bum who sat around playing video games all day. He works all the time, she even complained. Like, I get that he has to, but sometimes I wish he'd just be more. Be more? I turned around and walked back to my office, leaving the snacks behind. I couldn't eat anyway. I just sat there staring at my computer screen, trying to process everything. How long had she felt this way? Had she been telling her friends this kind of stuff all along? Was this what she really thought of me? All these memories started flooding back. Little comments she'd made over the years about other guys having better jobs or nicer things. The way she always seemed embarrassed when we ran into her work friends. How she kept tagging fancy houses and luxury cars on Instagram and sending them to me with captions like someday or goals. I always thought she was just dreaming big, but now I was starting to think she'd been trying to tell me I wasn't good enough this whole time. And yeah, maybe I should have picked up on it sooner, but when you love someone, you don't want to see that kind of stuff, you know? Looking back, there were probably tons of signs I missed, but hearing her actually say it out loud, to her friends, hit different. It made me question everything. I started thinking about all the things I'd done for her, all the ways I tried to make her happy. And for what? Apparently, I was just a placeholder until someone better came along. But I couldn't just sit there and pretend everything was normal. I tried for maybe an hour after her friends left, just sitting in my office, thinking, replaying everything I heard over and over in my head. Around midnight, I finally worked up the nerve to confront her. When I walked into our bedroom, she was getting ready for bed, acting like nothing had happened, like she hadn't just told her friends she'd trade me in for a better guy if she got the chance. Did you mean what you said? My voice came out calmer than I expected, but there was no hiding the tension underneath. She frowned, looking up from her nightstand. What are you talking about? I folded my arms. What you said to your friends. About upgrading for me. About how I'm fine, I guess, but you'd rather have someone with more drive and better prospects. Her face changed so fast. First confusion, then shock, then a nervous little laugh. Oh my God, were you listening to us? She rolled her eyes. It was just girl talk. Don't be so sensitive. I stared at her, feeling something in my chest tighten. Just girl talk. That's what she called it. Like somehow, that made it okay to sit around and trash me in our own home. So that's your excuse? I said. It doesn't count because it was just girl talk? She sighed and turned away, opening a drawer. Cliff, you're overreacting. No, I don't think I am. I took a step closer. I heard everything. The stuff about my job, my car, how I'm not ambitious enough. That didn't sound like jokes, Monica. She turned back to me, arms crossed. Well, if you're going to spy on private conversations, you're going to hear things you don't like. I let out a short, bitter laugh. So now I'm the bad guy? Because I heard you trashing me? She groaned, rubbing her temples. Jesus, Cliff, you're making such a big deal out of nothing. You know how the girls get when we're together. We were just joking around. I shook my head. No, you don't joke about that. You don't sit there and tell your friends you'd replace your husband in a heartbeat and expect me to just laugh it off. She scoffed. It wasn't serious. I exhaled sharply, trying to keep my voice steady. Then tell me, do you actually want to be with me? Or am I just convenient until someone better comes along? That hit a nerve. Her whole expression changed. Her mouth tightened. Her eyes flashed with something like anger. And then, like flipping a switch, she teared up. I can't believe you'd even ask me that, she whispered, her voice breaking. You're being so insecure right now. I clenched my jaw. I don't think it's insecurity when I literally heard you say it. Her lower lip trembled, but I wasn't buying it. And then she said it. Maybe this is why I feel stuck sometimes. That one word, stuck, felt like a punch to the gut. Stuck? I repeated. My voice came out quieter, but somehow heavier. After everything I've done for you? After I covered the bills when you wanted to start your business? Paid for your master's degree? Bought your damn car? Oh, so now you're keeping score? She snapped, her fake tears vanishing in an instant. Real nice, Cliff. Real nice. I let out a breath, shaking my head. You do realize that everything you complain about, our house, our money, our lifestyle, it's all stuff I provide, right? Oh my God, she groaned, throwing her hands up. This is exactly what I was talking about with the girls. You don't understand what I need emotionally. You just throw money at everything and think that's enough. I stared at her. You're the one who's always talking about wanting more money. A bigger house. A better car. She just crossed her arms and looked away, jaw clenched. We went in circles for another hour. Every time I tried to talk about what I heard, she'd either say I was taking it wrong, or try to make it my fault somehow, or start crying and say I was attacking her, or she will change the subject completely. Finally, she threw her hands up. Fine. You want me to say I'm sorry? I'm sorry. Happy now? She grabbed a pillow and fluffed it aggressively. Can we please go to bed now? Like that fixed everything. Like she hadn't just admitted, in front of her friends, that she was waiting for something better to come along. I didn't say another word. Just turned around, walked out, and shut the door behind me. I ended up sleeping in the guest room. I stared at my phone, reading Monica's text from 2 a.m. over and over again. Thanks for making me feel terrible. Hope you're happy now that you've ruined our night. I didn't respond. What was even the point? She clearly didn't understand why I was upset. Or worse, she understood and just didn't care. The next morning, she acted like nothing had happened. She made coffee, asked what I wanted for dinner later, and even hummed a little while scrolling through her phone. But I noticed she was checking it more than usual. Maybe I was paranoid now, but I couldn't shake the thought. Is she already looking for that upgrade she talked about? I tried to work from home, but my mind kept replaying everything from the night before. I found myself scrolling through old photos on my phone, stopping at one from our wedding day. We both looked so happy. Now, I couldn't help but wonder, was she already thinking about replacing me back then? Had I been blind this whole time? Little things started standing out, things I'd ignored before. How she always wanted me to go to her work events, but then acted weird when I was there. How she never posted photos of us together anymore. How she had been working late more often lately. Maybe I was reading too much into it, but after hearing what she really thought of me, I didn't know what to believe anymore. I tried to brush it off and act normal, but things only got worse. Her phone addiction was next level now. She was always typing away, but the second I walked into the room, she'd flip it over or lock the screen. She started taking calls in the other room, claiming it was work stuff. Since when did work require so many private conversations? It wasn't just that, though. She had stopped giving even the bare minimum in our relationship. No more asking how my day was. No more little moments of affection. Nothing. She was physically here, but mentally, she was somewhere else, somewhere far more interesting than me. Then, the money situation hit me like a slap to the face. I was paying for everything, our mortgage, utilities, car payments, insurance. Meanwhile, her salary just went straight into her personal account. She'd throw a couple $100 toward groceries now and then, but that was it. When I finally brought it up, she got defensive. We agreed this arrangement works best, she snapped. Did we? I asked, keeping my voice as steady as possible. Because I don't remember agreeing that I'd pay for everything while you save up for... What exactly? For our future, Cliff, she said, rolling her eyes. Why are you suddenly making this a thing? Our future. Right. The one where she eventually replaces me with someone better. And it wasn't just the money. She had started canceling our plans all the time now. We were supposed to have dinner together last Wednesday, like we always did, but she texted me at 4:30 saying she had to work late. I let it go until I saw her coworker's Instagram story, showing half the office leaving for happy hour at 3. When I asked her about it later, she barely looked up from her phone. "Oh yeah, I forgot about the work thing," she said. "I just didn't want to make you feel bad." That was becoming a pattern. She was spending more, too. New clothes, expensive makeup, salon visits every other week. When I gently brought up cutting back, since I was paying for everything, she got teary-eyed and accused me of being financially controlling. Controlling? I repeated, stunned. "I'm paying all the bills while you stash away your paycheck, and somehow I'm the one controlling you? See, this is what I mean." She snapped. "You just throw money at everything and expect me to be grateful. You don't understand what I need emotionally." That shut me up. Not because I agreed, but because I realized there was no winning this argument. No matter what I said, she would twist it. Then, Mike told me something that made my stomach drop. We were grabbing beers at his place when he suddenly got quiet, looking like he wasn't sure whether to say something or not. Finally, he sighed. "Listen, man, last week, my wife and I saw Monica at that fancy restaurant downtown." "Monica?" I frowned. "You sure?" "Yeah," he nodded. "She was dressed up. Like, way more than usual. We were gonna go say hi, but then some guy sat down at her table." My hands clenched into fists. That same night, Monica told me she was having dinner with her sister, Kay. When I casually mentioned running into Mike downtown, I watched her reaction closely. She didn't even flinch. Just said, "Oh, that's nice," and changed the subject. The lying is so easy for her now. I've started noticing other changes too. She's bought all these new outfits, but I never see her wear them at home or when we go out together. Her gym schedule makes no sense. Some days she claims she's going at 6 a.m., but when I leave for work at 7:30, her car is still in the driveway. And then there's the perfume. She comes home smelling like scents she doesn't even own, always with some story ready about where she's been. But the details never quite add up. The weirdest part? When her family visits, she acts like everything is perfect. Last Sunday, her parents came over for dinner, and suddenly she was all over me, sitting close, touching my arm, laughing at everything I said. The second they left, it was right back to barely acknowledging me. It's like I don't exist unless she needs to put on a show. Sometimes I feel like I'm going crazy. Am I just paranoid because of what I heard her say to her friends? Or have I been blind this whole time? The more I think about it, the more obvious it seems. She's been checking out of this marriage for a while. That conversation I overheard wasn't just random venting. It was her telling her friends exactly how she sees me. And the most messed up part? She still expects me to handle everything. Pay all the bills, fix things around the house, deal with the car maintenance, everything a husband should do. But the second I expect anything from her, even just basic honesty about where she's been, I'm suddenly suffocating her. I keep thinking about something my dad told me when I was younger. Actions tell you everything you need to know about how someone feels about you. And Monica's actions? They couldn't be clearer. I'm just a convenience to her. Someone to keep the house running while she does whatever she wants. But everything changed one day when my laptop completely died. Wouldn't turn on at all. I had a huge work presentation due the next day, and all my files were on there. I was freaking out. Monica had this nice work laptop she always brought home, so I asked if I could borrow it, just for an hour, tops, to access my cloud drive and make some last-minute edits. She got weird about it. I just need to clean up some work stuff first," she said quickly. "I'll set it up for you later." Then she glanced at her phone. "Actually, I've got yoga class. I need to head out." She rushed out before doing anything. But she left her laptop bag right there in the living room. I've never gone through her stuff before. Never wanted to. But I really needed to fix this presentation, and she'd logged into my laptop plenty of times before when she needed something. We're married, right? It wasn't a big deal. I opened Chrome to access my cloud drive, and that's when I saw it. Tinder. Right there in her most visited sites. Not even hidden. Next to it, some dating site I'd never even heard of. My stomach dropped. Her email was open too. My hands were shaking so bad, I almost dropped the laptop. There were messages. Dozens of them. Conversations with different guys. She had profiles on multiple dating sites. But the worst part? In all of them, she listed herself as separated and looking to upgrade. She'd written this whole thing about how she was stuck in a stagnant marriage and is ready to meet someone who matches her ambition, someone who could give her the lifestyle. She deserves the same stuff she'd said to her friends that night, but now she was advertising it to every guy in a 50-mile radius. Dozens of messages from men, all in plain sight. My hands were shaking so bad I nearly dropped her laptop. I clicked on one of the messages. "Last night was amazing. You looked even better than your pictures. Can't wait to see you again." Monica's reply was right below it. I had such a great time too. You really know how to make a woman feel special. Maybe next time we won't have to rush out so soon. Winky face. I could barely breathe. My stomach twisted, nausea creeping up my throat. I clicked on another. So are you actually separated, or just saying that? Her response was casual, almost flippant. Emotionally, yeah. It's just a matter of timing now. A matter of timing. Like our marriage was just an inconvenience she had to work around. I felt like an idiot, like I had been living in a different reality this whole time. I scrolled through more messages, my body going numb. She had profiles on multiple sites, all with variations of the same bio, some version of trapped in a stagnant marriage, looking for someone who matches my ambition, someone who can give me the lifestyle I deserve. The same words she had used that night with her friends. But now, she wasn't just venting, she was advertising. I switched over to her Google Calendar, my gut already telling me what I'd find. Every yoga class, every girls' night, every late work event lined up perfectly with her meetups. It was so methodical, so planned out. I felt like I was watching the evidence of a crime unfold in front of me. Then I saw the message that broke me. Last night was amazing. I can still smell you on me. I gagged, scrambling away from the laptop like it had burned me. My hands clutched at my knees as I fought to keep from throwing up right there on the floor. I didn't know how long I sat there, staring at nothing, trying to force my brain to catch up to what I'd just seen. Eventually, my hands moved on their own, pulling out my phone. Not because I wanted to keep any of this, but because I knew what was coming. She'd deny it. She'd twist it. She'd make me out to be crazy. So, I took pictures of the messages, the profiles, the calendar, every last piece of proof. The whole time I was going through her laptop, my hands were shaking, and I felt sick to my stomach. But then I found the worst part. She had this folder in her Google Drive labeled New Life Planning. At first, I thought maybe it was some work thing, but when I opened it, my heart dropped. Inside were screenshots of houses she liked, luxury cars she wanted. Hell, even some kind of budget spreadsheet. But the numbers didn't add up. She'd calculated everything based on way more money than I make. And then I saw the notes. The kind of guy she was looking for. How much he should earn. What kind of car he should drive. Where he should live. It was like a damn shopping list, except instead of groceries, she was shopping for my replacement. That was bad enough. But then I saw another section. Divorce planning. She'd been researching divorce lawyers, alimony laws, and how to maximize her assets during a split. She'd been planning this whole thing while still living off my money. I felt like I was going to throw up. Somehow, I managed to finish my work presentation that night, but I honestly don't even remember doing it. I put everything back exactly how I found it. When she got home from yoga, I just watched her. How was class? I asked, my voice perfectly calm. She smiled like nothing was wrong. Oh, it was amazing. We had a substitute instructor today, and she really pushed us. I feel sore already. Meanwhile, I knew she hadn't been at yoga at all. She'd been meeting some guy named Brad at a coffee shop. The next few days were surreal. I had to act normal while knowing everything. Watching her text these guys right in front of me, probably thinking she was so clever. Listening to her make up excuses about where she was going. And the whole time, I kept thinking about all those messages I'd read, all the plans she was making, all the lies. The really messed up part? In some of her messages, she actually told these guys she was faithful, that she'd never cheat, that she was waiting until she found the right guy before leaving her marriage. Like that made it better. Like she wasn't actively shopping for my replacement while living in my house and spending my money. But instead of confronting Monica right away, I decided to play the long game. I found a divorce lawyer, let's call him Dave. I showed him everything I had, and he gave me solid advice on protecting myself. Turns out, that new life planning folder might actually help me. It proves she's been planning to leave for ages while letting me support her completely. Dave helped me make a plan, and first on the list was money. Since I've been handling our finances for years, making changes wasn't too hard. I opened a new account at a different bank and started moving my paycheck there instead of our joint account. I left just enough in the joint account to cover basic bills. Just enough so she wouldn't notice right away. A week later, she did. Hey babe, she called from the kitchen. Did your paycheck go through yet? The joint account looks a little low. I shrugged, keeping my voice casual. Yeah, work's been weird about overtime lately. Trying to budget better just in case. She frowned. Budget better? I have personal expenses, you know. I just smiled. Times are tough. Funny how she talks about wanting a guy with more money, but can't handle having less access to mine. I also started documenting everything. Every time she lied about where she was going. Every weird expense. Every late night work event. I have a whole spreadsheet now. Dave says it'll help show a pattern in court. Even started keeping track of when her car was gone versus when she claimed to be somewhere. The numbers don't add up. At all. And then, I started slowly backing away from all the stuff I used to do for her. For years, I handled everything. Her car maintenance. Her family's events. Even stupid little things like making sure she had her favorite snacks in the house. So I stopped. Her car needed an oil change? Not my problem. Her parents' anniversary dinner? Every year, I made the reservations, bought the gifts, handled it all. This time, nope. Hey, did you book anything for my parents' anniversary yet? She asked one evening. I looked up from my phone. Oh, I thought you were handling that this time. Her eyes widened slightly. Well, I guess I can. She scrambled to throw something together last minute, and her parents definitely noticed. I also started going to the gym. Not because of her, because I needed somewhere to put all this angry energy. Found a 24-hour place near my office and started going there instead of coming straight home after work. Monica actually complained. You're never home anymore, she said one night, crossing her arms. I raised an eyebrow. Really? I thought you wanted space. She sighed. It's just, you're acting weird. You're not spending enough time with me. Pretty rich coming from someone who was actively trying to replace me. But the money thing really started showing results last week. She wanted to buy some expensive dress for a work event. Usually, she just gets it, and I deal with the credit card bill. The moment her credit card declined, Monica called me, her voice thick with frustration. Cliff, what the hell? My card isn't working. She snapped. I kept my voice calm, even casual. Yeah, we need to watch our spending right now. There was a pause. I could almost hear the gears turning in her head before she suddenly softened her tone. Well, maybe you should think about asking for a raise. Or, I don't know, looking for something better? I nearly laughed and responded, maybe you can do that too, and maybe that will set an example for me as well. It was almost impressive how fast she pivoted from anger to manipulation. Then I just mumbled something about the economy being tough and let her stew. Meanwhile, I kept cutting off her luxuries, canceling random subscriptions I had been unknowingly paying for, switching our cable package to something cheaper, and buying generic brands instead of the fancy ones she liked. Every time she complained, I shrugged. Budgeting is important, Monica. We have to be responsible. The best part? She was starting to realize that her perfect life wasn't so perfect without me managing it. All these little things I'd handled, the house maintenance, the car stuff, the bills, the planning, were now on her, and she was terrible at it. One day, the garage door broke. Normally, I'd drop everything and fix it. This time, I just glanced at it and said, yeah, we should probably call someone. Then I went back to watching TV. She waited 2 days, clearly expecting me to cave, before finally calling a repair service herself. Cost her $200 of her money. Suddenly, she was talking about how expensive everything was getting. The craziest thing, though, was how she still tried to keep up appearances. She was still on those dating apps. Yeah, I checked sometimes through her laptop browser history, still telling guys she wanted someone more ambitious. Meanwhile, she was dealing with a car that needed maintenance, a garage door that kept acting up, and a credit card that actually had limits. I won't lie, watching her struggle was satisfying. Then she made her move. One evening, I was on the couch scrolling through my phone, probably while she was texting one of her backup plans, when she came up to me, all smiles and sweetness. Cliff, I was thinking, we should go away this weekend. Just the two of us. I barely looked up. Oh yeah? Yeah. Well, us and the usual group. Maya and Bryce, Tessa and Grant, Naomi and Felix, everyone's going. We're renting this amazing lake house for a couple's weekend. It'll be so good for us. She sat down next to me, touching my arm, using that soft, coaxing voice she always used when she wanted something. I almost laughed in her face. Was she serious? This whole time, she'd been on dating apps, calling herself separated, planning her upgrade, and now she wanted to play happy couple? With the same friends who had laughed about replacing me? But then, I had a thought. I smiled at her. That sounds perfect. Her whole face lit up, like she'd just won some game. She probably thought she had me wrapped around her finger again, that I was just her dumb husband who would keep paying for everything while she lined up my replacement. The funny part? The entire next week, she suddenly started acting like a wife again. She made an actual effort, asking about my day, making dinner for the first time in months, even cuddling on the couch. She even posted about me on Instagram. First time since January. Some cutesy caption about how excited she was for our romantic weekend. Her friends, the same ones who encouraged her to leave me, all commented with heart emojis and couple goals. Meanwhile, I was in my lawyer's office, going over everything. Dave and I spent hours organizing it all, the screenshots from her laptop, her dating profiles, the new life planning folder, still can't believe she actually named it that, the bank statements showing how I paid for everything while she saved her own money. The divorce papers are ready. They're sitting in my briefcase right now. Monica keeps asking why I'm bringing work stuff on our romantic weekend. The drive up to the lake house was surreal. Monica was acting like we were on our honeymoon or something, reaching over to hold my hand while I drove, taking selfies for Instagram, and talking nonstop about all the cute couples activities she had planned. I just nodded, went along with it, let her believe everything was fine. Meanwhile, I knew exactly what she had been doing. Her dating apps were probably still blowing up her phone. I knew because I checked. Maybe that's wrong, but at this point, who cares? Dave told me to stay calm and stick to the plan. Easy for him to say. He wasn't the one watching his wife pretend everything was perfect, knowing she'd been planning to leave for months. The house was exactly what I expected. One of those sleek, modern rentals with floor-to-ceiling windows and a ridiculous price tag. Monica's eyes lit up the second we pulled in, the same way they always did when she sent me links to expensive houses and called them goals. Funny, considering I'm the one who actually pays our bills. Everyone else showed up not long after. Maya and Bryce, of course, were the first ones there, figured. Maya's probably been coaching Monica this whole time. Then Tessa and Grant, Naomi and Felix. We all gathered around the massive kitchen island, talking about jobs, vacations, and whatever else people like them talk about. Monica was in full show-off mode, touching my arm, laughing too loud at everything I said, making a big show of how amazing things had been between us lately. I caught Maya giving her these little nods, like she was encouraging her. It made me sick to watch. Dinner was at this oversized dining table, the kind no one actually uses unless they're hosting 12 people for a meal. Everyone was going on about their perfect lives, their promotions, their trips to Europe. Afterward, we moved out to the deck. It was a warm night, clear skies, the kind of evening that made everything feel cinematic. The girls took photos, probably for their backup Instagram accounts. The guys did that thing where they pretend to care about each other's jobs. I let them all get comfortable. Then I told them I had something special planned, something we could all watch together. Monica perked up instantly. "Ah, babe, what is it?" she asked, all sweet and eager, probably expecting some sappy video montage about our relationship. I connected my laptop to the TV. The first thing that popped up? Monica's Tinder profile, the one where she calls herself separated. The deck went silent. Then her messages started appearing on the screen. The ones where she told guys she was stuck with me, how she was looking for someone more ambitious. I scrolled through her conversations, the meetups she planned, the times she used her friends as alibis. Then came the photos, the nudes she sent, the plans for her new life. The folder, her actual folder, where she kept it all organized like a job hunt. Monica's face drained of color. She lunged for my laptop, but I was faster. "What the hell, Cliff?" she screeched, panic in her voice. Maya, the same Maya who encouraged all of this, just kept muttering, "Oh my God, oh my God." Tessa got up and walked away completely. The guys looked like they wanted to disappear. Pretty sure Bryce was mentally calculating if his own wife had a secret folder like this. Monica tried everything. First, she screamed at me for going through her laptop. Funny how privacy only mattered when it worked in her favor. Then she tried to play it off. "It's not what it looks like," she insisted, voice shaking. I let out a short laugh. "It's exactly what it looks like." That's when the waterworks started. "You're trying to humiliate me," she choked out, eyes darting around, looking for sympathy. I reached into my bag and pulled out the divorce papers, setting them on the table. Then I met her eyes. "Remember when you let me borrow your laptop because mine broke?" I said, voice calm, controlled. I watched realization dawn in her expression. "Thanks for that, by the way." Really opened my eyes. I knew Monica would try to spin the whole thing, but I wasn't expecting her to fall apart so completely. She kept looking around at her friends, practically begging them to back her up, but no one said a word. Not even Maya, who usually defended Monica no matter what. Maya just stared at her feet, looking uncomfortable. I guess it's different when there's actual proof right in front of them. I grabbed my bag, taking my time, making sure they all saw that I was calm, in control. "I already paid my share of the rental," I said. "You guys enjoy your weekend." Monica was full-on crying by then, scrambling to follow me as I walked to my car. "Cliff, please. I can explain everything." Her voice was desperate, high-pitched. I didn't even look at her. The last thing I heard before I shut the door was Tessa's voice, sharp and disgusted. "I can't believe you do this to him." Coming from Tessa, that was rich. She was one of the ones laughing about me that night. As soon as I started driving, my phone blew up, text from Monica, her friends. All the usual "I had no idea, and I'm so sorry" bullshit. Yeah, right. They knew. They encouraged it. Then, her family found out. That was rough. Her mom called me the day after, crying, asking what went wrong. Turns out Monica had been feeding them lies for months, telling them I was distant, uninterested, that I was the one checking out of the marriage. So I went to their house, sat down in their living room and showed them everything. The screenshots, the dating profiles, the folder where she'd been planning her new life. Her dad just sat there, getting quieter and quieter. This was a guy who used to treat me like a son, always bragged about how lucky Monica was to have found someone responsible. Now, he couldn't even look at the screenshots. When Monica tried to explain it to them later, it went badly. Really badly. Her dad basically told her, "I didn't raise you to be this kind of person." Her mom just cried. They're still talking to her. She's their daughter, after all, but it's different now. Her dad hasn't spoken to me since that day, but he did send me a text. "I'm sorry. You deserve better." That one hit harder than I expected. As for her friends, they scattered like cockroaches when the lights come on. Maya sent me some weak-ass message about how she never meant for any of this to happen and how she was just trying to be supportive of Monica. Yeah, super supportive. Laughing about replacing me. Bryce, Maya's husband, actually called me. "Man, I had no idea what they talked about when they got together," he said. "Sure, buddy," I replied. Tessa and Naomi, they unfriended Monica on everything. I guess they were worried their husbands might start wondering what they said during girls' nights. But the real crazy part? Monica's sister, Kay, was furious. Not just because Monica used her as an alibi for meeting guys, but because Kay actually defended her to their parents at first. There must be some explanation, she told them. Then she saw the evidence. Realized how many times Monica had lied to her face. Now, they're not speaking. Monica's staying with her cousin Emma in the city, the only family member who will still put up with her. She's been trying to message me constantly. First, it was anger. "You humiliated me." Yeah, because I'm the one who made dating profiles while married. Then, it was crying, begging, "I'm so sorry. I'll change." Now, she's trying to negotiate, like we're splitting up a business instead of a marriage. Dave, my lawyer, says the divorce should be simple. The screenshots of her planning to leave while still living off my money? Super helpful legally. She tried to claim alimony at first, saying she was used to a certain lifestyle. That fell apart fast when Dave pulled up her own messages about looking for a richer guy. Hard to argue you need financial support when you were literally bragging to men about your secret savings. The house feels weird now. Empty, but not in a bad way. Monica came by last week with her cousin to grab some of her stuff. She kept trying to talk to me while she packed. "Cliff, I really think we can work this out." I leaned against the wall, arms crossed. "Talk to Dave about it." She didn't like that. "I'm doing okay, I think. It's crazy how different everything is now. 2 months ago, I was standing in my kitchen, listening to my wife joke about upgrading from me. Now, she's in her cousin's spare room, trying to figure out how to afford her own place. Turns out, the better life she wanted isn't so easy when you actually have to pay for it yourself. Her dating profiles are still up. A friend of Emma saw them. Now she calls herself recently separated and an independent woman. Had to laugh at that last part. Real independent now that she has to pay her own bills. But funny thing happened at the gym last week. There's this girl who works there. She's been helping me figure out proper form for exercises and stuff. After my workout the other day, I got to talking with one of the trainers at the gym. We chatted a few times before, just casual stuff. But this time, we ended up grabbing coffee afterward. Turns out, she went through something similar with her ex last year. Not the exact same situation, but close enough that she understands what it's like to have someone you trusted completely betray you. It was weirdly easy talking to her. No judgment, no pity, just someone who gets it. We've been texting a bit since then. Nothing serious, just talking. She's cool. Actually works for what she wants instead of expecting everything handed to her. It's refreshing. I didn't think I'd be interested in dating again this soon. But it's nice just having a normal conversation with someone who isn't trying to manipulate me or play games. Never made sushi before, I admitted when she mentioned her plans for the night. She grinned. Then you're in for a challenge. But don't worry, I won't judge you if your roles fall apart. I laughed. Can't be worse than my first attempt at making steak. Monica nearly choked on it. She smirked. Well, good thing I know how to cook. You'll leave here alive. It made me realize something. While Monica was out there looking for an upgrade, I was the one who actually ended up with something better. Someone who's honest about who they are, who doesn't fake things or pretend to be something they're not. It's not about rushing into anything. It's just about being around good people again. Oh, and I finally canceled the Netflix account yesterday. The one Monica's probably still using over at her cousin's place. Funny thing is, I don't even care about that stuff anymore. Got better things to focus on now.